You guys thought we were done, but we're not. We're back for another episode of the Death, Tax, and Sports Podcast, episode 155. We're back after a 3-month hiatus where life be lifing. And who the hell really wants to talk about baseball? So now that football's back, we're here. I'm here with my fellow Johnson & Wales alum, Mr. Ben Holloway. Nice haircut. Must be nice to have a hairline. I don't have one. And Marisa Tigney, the queen of DTS. And I swear to God, I know this seems like a running joke, but the crown is coming. I don't know when. At this point, I've kind of given up. But folks, how y'all doing?
Doing so good. We're back.
Yes.
We're back.
And it's a great day. It's a great day to be alive. Man, we've have so many things to talk about, so much football, great NFL topics. We got overreactions, which I definitely want to take a little bit of time to talk about. We got fantasy football bust of the week. We got fantasy football superstars of the week. How Jeff beat Ben in our big money. Studs and duds for upcoming. And coaching decisions, big plays, mums. I'm sorry, Ben. I just had to put a little just there. It's probably going to be the time to beat you. Look, I have a losing record against you, so I was just low key kind of happy. But anyway,
most people do. No.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We're back. So
I mean, not Ben bragging about himself. Toot toot beep 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 beep.
It's a great. Yeah, it's a great day. But first, before we do we'll do the overreactions. But let's start with let's do ladies first, if that's okay. A little bit of overreactions, and then just say a little bit about your team and how you feeling about and each give a grade about your teams after each of your teams lost and mine won.
Oh, why are you allowing me to go first? I tell you, listen, Lions fans, in the words of the person we gave the last loss to when he was in a Green Bay Packers uniform, RELAX, relax. Okay, the overreactions of, oh my God, our team is this and we're in disarray, and what is that offensive line doing? And Penei Sewell got cooked by Micah Parsons, which caused the Jared Goff sack. Nevertheless, Isaac Tesla was a bright spot, as well as Legatron Jake Bates doing what Jake Bates does. My team got a C-. That offensive line has got to make sure that they protect Jared Goff in the pocket. They got to wake up. Our secondary got cooked. I don't know what quarter Terrion Arnold got a groin injury from, and it says in the reports he's supposed to play this weekend coming up at home against the Bears. I prefer him not to. I'd rather have a healthy Terrion Arnold than the one that we saw getting torched in the secondary. But nevertheless, I think Lions fans just need to chill out and calm down and relax. The thing that I did mention, and gentlemen, you can, agree with me or disagree with me about, is I wish that we would have saw some of the Detroit starters in preseason. I wish we got a sample of what was to come, because to me, the starters that I saw in that game, there was obvious rust. I went to training camp. People that follow me on social media saw that I went to training camp. I did some video. I did some, overall recap of what I saw there. And that's a whole different element. But this being a live game, this being where Jordan Love looked absolutely outstanding. Like, all of his weapons were available at every spot on that doggone field. And the score that was I'm surprised wasn't further. And it showed that, the defense made some plays and the offense finally woke up with that Goff to Tesla. And then it was counted as a touchdown. They have to clean it up, especially on the offensive, especially with the return of Ben Johnson coming back to Ford Field. He's going to be greeted very overwhelmingly by Detroit Lions fans. And they're going to shower him with all the appreciation in the world. Not really. So they need to clean it up offensively. They need to make sure they make plays. I know people have been very critical about this team because the NFC is loaded. After what we saw, obviously, with the Packers, after what we saw, the Bears kept it close, but they blew it against a young Minnesota Vikings team and JJ McCarthy and what he could do and sling the ball. Michigan fans knew what he could do. I just think that the NFC is one of the areas they're going to definitely watch. Who's going to be that one that's going to progress, and who's going to be the team that's going to digress? And right now, the digression of on all of the media's minds is the Detroit Lions. My overreaction from week one, besides that, the other part is that the Packers, after one game, is Super Bowl bound. What? Let's pump the brakes on all of that. Okay.
Mhm.
And, after one game, they got Micah Parsons. They made a huge deal. We all talked about it and how much it would be positive on the Packers side. But sorry, Packers fans, to rain on your parade as a Detroit Lions fans and everything else. And yes, the game was epic. And yes, it fell in your favor and so forth. But calm down on all that Super Bowl noise right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. That was number 2 on my list of overreactions. Number 1 was Jerry Jones made the right move because we almost beat the Eagles. We were right there. We frankly should have beaten the Eagles. So Jerry must have been right. No, you don't trade future Hall of Fame players in their prime. You make it work. So no, he wasn't right. So that I felt like, especially if the Cowboys had won, that would have been more of the chatter on
Right.
Friday than it was. But still, I know there's some people are like, well, we almost beat the defending champs. I mean, maybe he was right. No, he wasn't right. And I had the Packers going to the Super Bowl as the second overreaction. And I will say this. I'll let Jeff chime in. I got a couple more, but I'll leave with this one. Aaron Rodgers is back, guys. Steelers are going far. Aaron Rodgers is, he's back. He can still play. They're going to make some noise in January. Simmer down. Relax. They beat the Jets. They barely beat the Jets. Frankly, they needed a 60-yard field goal to beat the Jets. And then Jalen Ramsey, who, maybe has something left in the tank, maybe not, but clearly he can still hit people because he lit up Garrett Wilson to end that game. But the Steelers, they're going to be all right. They'll be the normal, Mike Tomlin, 9 wins, 10 wins, but
And they'll slide into the postseason, but they're not.
They beating even as bad as the Chiefs look, which they almost won anyways, even though they look bad. They're not beating the Chiefs in January. They're not beating the Bills in January. They're not beating the Ravens in January. Steelers, they're gonna be good, and that's where their ceiling is. They're not gonna make this deep run. So everyone's like, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers, he looks great. Maybe he's still got it. Maybe, maybe not." So yeah, that's what I'll lead off with.
Yeah, I think for the Denver Broncos, I'm going to give them a C, right? Because I think that they almost did cover the spread, 8.5 points, but I think the magic number means 25. The offense has to produce at least 25 points a game on average, I think, if they want to be a viable contender, not just in the division, but in the AFC. The defense is just absolutely superb. The way that they were able to rush, homeboy whose name I can't remember, Cam Ward. There we go. I actually remember. There we go, Ben. And I mean, that pass rush was just absolutely phenomenal. And what I like is that we're not going to have to do these 70, 80-yard drives every single time because we're going to get favorable field position because of just how stellar the defense is. But with that said, Bo Nix, after one game, I'm not going to worry about it and saying that, oh, he's washed up or that he's going to have a sophomore slump. It was one game. So for me, it's like, okay, whatever. It's about the collective sum versus one instance. So I'll give them a C on that, and we'll see what happens. But I want to talk about Kansas City as far as overreaction. It's an overreaction if we're thinking that the Kansas City's not going to win the AFC West if the Broncos don't do it. I personally think the Broncos are going to do it because they're going to go 17-0. But if for whatever reason that does not happen, to say that after one game that Kansas City is not going to win the division or that they're not a contender is absolute false. At the end of the day, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, they're all still trying to chase Pat Mahomes, winning that elusive title. So when you're a 3-time Super Bowl champion, 3-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time regular season MVP. They went 16-1 with a relatively bad offense. So even if they fall, they could still go 12-5 and win the division. We've seen the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers are going to charge at the end of the day, and I just don't trust Justin Herbert to win a big game. So for me, it's an overreaction to think that Kansas City all of a sudden is just going to cave. It could happen, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, that's one of mine too. I had the overreaction. Chargers winning the AFC West. Like, calm down. They barely beat a banged up and limited. Like, they lost Xavier Worthy. Rashee Rice was already out. Like, they lost some dudes in that game, and they didn't have all their dudes in that game, and you still only beat them by 6. Like, it's not like you blew them out. So yeah, that's a. The other one I wanted to touch on, if we can, before we go, the Bengals, man. Like, wow, like, you gotta win. So they finally didn't lose like opening day after they were 1-11 the last 6 years, which is crazy because Burrow played all of those games. Those first 2 games times 6 is 12. But like, the fact that they won that game is somewhat incredible in its own. The Browns had 327 yards. The Bengals had 141. Like, you let the Browns outgain you by almost 200 yards.
Isn't that a crazy stat? Because you would think the Browns would end up beating the Bengals.
Yeah.
On paper, when you look at it on paper, yeah.
The Bengals had all their dudes. They had T. Higgins. They had Chase Brown. They had Jamar Chase. They had everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And with everybody, they had 7 yards in the second half. 7. Crazy. Insane. So everyone's like, oh, wow, the Bengals won. They're going to be fine. They won week 1. It's like, they were horrible against probably one of the worst 5 teams in the league and barely won. Like, no, there should still be a lot of concern about the Bengals. So that's my.
I feel bad for the Browns because when you look at it on paper, that is a game that they should have won, and they had the opportunity to win because your next opponent is going to take every ounce of their angst of them blowing a lead and put it on y'all in their own backyard when you go and visit the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, yeah,
right now they should be 1-0 going into Baltimore.
Yeah, that game with Baltimore being 0-1, to your point, that Baltimore might win that by 20.
Oh yeah, they're upset. They're mad. Derrick Henry is pissed at himself for the fumble that turned the whole narrative around in 2 minutes. Like, they're going. Sorry, Browns fans, brace yourself for 0-2.
Yeah.
Let me throw these questions to you. So first, the Bengals. Was it more of the Bengals defense playing better, or was it more the Browns losing?
The Browns losing because I'm trying to get to it right now, but the Browns kicker missed, I think, 2 field goals. Definitely
he missed 2 field goals. Yeah,
missed 2 field goals, and they weren't 50-yarders either.
If you look at it, at the end of the day, the Browns should have won at least by 5.
Yeah,
five, 6 points at least.
So he missed a extra point, and he missed a 36-yard field goal.
Yeah,
those are like almost guaranteed nowadays. So an extra point and a 36-yard field goal, which the 36-yarder was with 2:25 in the fourth quarter. So it was to take the lead. So the Bengals got lucky mostly. Those turnovers also were like, one of them was Judy like dove and then all of a sudden bounced up, and the Bengals, like, if I'm a Bengals fan, I would not feel good after that game. No way.
So Tim, let me throw this question to you for the Bills Ravens. Was it more of the Bills grit to win, or was it more of the collapse for the Ravens?
You know what? I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna say it's a little mixture of both. Reason being is because you have 2 minutes left in the game and it looks like you're gonna close the door. And Derrick Henry is always that ace in the hole that's always clutch when it comes to not, we know him as the stiff arm, and he's the one that, is got that big body back that can go and just score touchdowns. And it's very, very uncharacteristic of him to not hold on to the ball. And unbeknownst to us as football fans, watching the whole dynamic shift to Josh Allen, who is very good at under pressure situations where they have an opportunity. They did score that touchdown. Ravens get the ball back. Then that uncharacteristic turnover. And then you see the camera zoom to Josh Allen where he's like, he puts the iPad down and he nods his head. He puts the helmet on. And I'm like, okay, he just made mental notes in his head. I said, this game, and I was watching it with somebody while I was at work because there was some Buffalo Bills fans there. And I said, he just made some mental errors, or not mental errors, mental notes. They're going to turn this game around. I said, don't be surprised, y'all, if this comes down to either we got to go into overtime or they win it. And I think his mental is to win it. I'm surprised that Baltimore did not play tougher defense after that error, after they scored, and then allowed Buffalo to get down the field for 41-year-old Matt Prater to call game. We didn't see that toughness from the defense that we saw earlier in the game. Mind you, we're going into the fourth quarter, and Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the score like 35, 34, 19 or something like that?
Yeah,
like,
I think in the fourth quarter at some point it was 40-25.
Like where
it was 40-25 in the fourth quarter. I don't
know. Yeah. So it was interesting to me to not see that intensity that we saw in the third quarter, that he made the error. Baltimore is like, okay, listen, we got to regroup. We got to shut the door on these guys. And so that they do not come back. They came back. And then for Prater to still have that clutch kick in him to, call game. I mean, a treat for all of us, a preview for what's to come in the AFC showdown in the postseason, because these two teams will meet each other again. Let's be abundantly clear. These two teams will be in the postseason. Let's be abundantly clear. I think it will get down to where it will be one of these teams is going to be in the Super Bowl. I know we're in week 2 now, but after what we witnessed, gentlemen, on Sunday night, right there. But the adjustments need to be made definitely in Baltimore when it comes to situations. That's why I said they're going to put everything into. They're putting this behind them. They're making the adjustments this week, and I'm sorry for the Cleveland Browns and Cleveland Brown fans. Unless a miracle ends up happening, not in Baltimore, they're going to run it up.
And we do got to go to biggest surprise. But before we do, Buffalo is favored to win in the remaining of their 16 games. I saw on Get Up yesterday. They're not going to win all 16 games, but
no,
I think they could. I think they can reasonably go 14-3 this year.
I was just going to say 14-3 seems.
Yeah, I said 14-3 too. I wrote that down as a note.
Yeah, but yeah. So biggest surprises. This one is going to be a little bit interesting because for me, it's hard to talk about biggest surprises because Ben, you and I talked about it, right? Like football has the highest level of variability year over year, and based on the stats from last season, you might as well throw those out the garbage because narratives, injuries, attrition, there's so many different factors that can really contribute to, the viability and the overall output of a team offensively and defensively, right? But I think for me, when it comes to the biggest surprises, there's so many things that stand out. But I think the one that really stood out to me was just the amount of passing that the Chargers did, right? It was very uncharacteristic the way that they were slinging that ball around the whole entire game. Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, homeboys, God, I can't remember his name. Conklin, what's his name?
Oh, Ladd
Conklin. I can't remember people's names.
That's all right.
See, I'm rusty. I need to step it up. Yeah. So the way that all of those weapons were just slicing and dicing. So for me, I think that was kind of like the biggest surprise for me, just the amount of passing that team did, because we know what Harbaugh likes to do is run the ball. And I got to give a shout out to J.J. McCarthy because I think that he showed some grit. But hold on, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, G coming in the building.
Has showed up.
Better late than never.
The legend Johnson.
Everybody. Let's go.
Everyone. Wow. We are here with greatness. We are here.
Greatness.
Greatness. Gary, and then Ben, I know you want to jump in on the biggest surprises, but before I do that, Gary, is how are you doing first off? And
Um,
is it dart time?
um, how am I doing? I'm doing better than my Giants. I'll say that. Is it dart time? I mean, if the name of the game is keeping your job, then I think you got to start him. Russell Wilson, I'm sorry, like it's you when you're done when you have your passes blocked at the line of scrimmage multiple times. That means that you can't get the ball down the field the way you used to. By definition, that means you're cooked.
Mhm.
Like if the best you can do, and you've seen this, we've seen all the all-time greats when their arm goes, and we see they go from this deep ball threat to these little 5 yard gadget plays, dump offs, dink and dunks, and all that. Russell Wilson's at that point. He's been at that point really since the end of Seattle, if we're being completely honest, but nobody really wants to talk about that.
Well, yeah, we don't.
But if you're the Giants, and if you're Brian Dable and Joe Shane and you want to keep your job beyond 2025, you're going to put this rookie in. He's going to have some growing pains. He's going to get hit. He's going to have to take these lumps. And if he's on the Giants, he's going to take a lot of lumps because for some reason, ever since the day of Kerry Collins, we've not had a damn offensive line. I don't understand how we've gone this many years and can't figure out our offensive line. So saying that a quarterback's going to get hit. Do you
Mhm.
want it to be Russell Wilson and his uninspiring performances? Do we want like Jameis Winston? He's going to give you 2 3 weeks of fun, and there's going to be, good sound bites from him. Like he's going to do what Jameis Winston does, and then he's going to have that 5 interception game in the first half against somebody, and then all right, now we're going to really call on Dart. Let's bypass what we already know is going to happen. Give me Jackson Dart. Let him get his growing pains in, and we know this season's based off the schedule, this season's going to be a wash anyway. I've
Yeah.
already said to you guys privately, I'll say it out loud. There's a really high chance that this team's going to be 2-11 or 3-10 going into the bye week, which is
And
week
if that's the
14.
case, they don't deserve to have any picks. That's on them. And going
But
to your
look at
point, Gary, real quick, I
mhm.
just think that it is, you would think that Brian Daboll would get a clue, get a memo. Somebody would send him a text like, hey, you realize you on the hot seat coming into this season, right? So you want to make sure that you get it right. Let's not put all of our semi-cracked eggs into the Russell Wilson little bitty holes that these eggs can fall out basket.
I
Like,
Mhm.
see now. I think from my perspective, I don't think that Dayball wants to start Russell Wilson at all. I think he'd rather have gone with Dart from week one and just rolled the dice and seen what would have happened.
mhm.
But I think that the powers that be above him are like, no, let's protect him as long as we can because we don't want to see him end up kind of like Daniel Jones where he gets hurt, hit a lot, and now he's a broken commodity, although Daniel Jones is apparently the second coming of Peyton Manning in Indianapolis.
Daniel Jones
So
is my biggest surprise of the week.
I'm so see now as a Giants fan, I can tell you that this was the least surprising outcome because all he had to do was get away from us, and all of a sudden he's playing like this fantastic quarterback that everybody thought he was going to be. Now, it's just 1 week, and we'll see exactly how long this actually lasts. But if we're going off of 1 week, I mean, Giants fans are just looking at the organization going, "Oh no, it's you. You're the problem. We thought it was him."
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
no. It's the organization,
If
and
he
it's
has
not even
great success there in Indianapolis, that city's going to go
any
crazy.
success.
Anthony Richardson is going to never be in a Colts uniform starting quarterback again, and Giants fans are going to hate Brian Daboll
Yeah.
and that organization.
And that's the thing. But Ben, let me get you in here, buddy.
Yeah,
Your
so
thoughts.
I wanted to say surprises. It's related to that same game. I just wrote how terrible in all caps that Miami looked
Oh, I
like
finally someone said it.
like terrible, like just bad. I mean, they were down 30-0 to the Colts, and Tua was playing the whole time. Tyreek was playing the whole time. A-Chain, Waddle. You have your trio of stars: Waddle, Tyreek Hill, A-Chain. You got your quarterback, and they look that bad. Like, I honestly think that, and again, we don't want to live in this overreaction world here, but I honestly think they could be like really, really bad. Like, to the point of there's injuries or there's trades, or like, I would not be surprised if they only win like 4 games. Like,
Miami right now is like a band that is on their last tour, and they're getting ready to break up at the end of the season.
I think they're so done with McDaniel. I think
Mhm.
that like they're gonna trade. They're probably gonna trade Tyreek. Like, I think Miami's gonna be like bad, like bottom 5 bad. That's just
They're
the
done.
vibes out of Miami this offseason. It's, I don't know. I think it's,
and it's bad enough. Like, to your point, Ben, it's bad enough that Tyreek is dealing now with these issues off the field with his soon-to-be ex-wife, and now these allegations that he was an abuse. He abused her, and all of that, and then trying to compartmentalize his, trying to focus on his job while all of this stuff is going on. And I agree with you 100%. I think that Mike McDaniel pretty much has lost this football team. It reminds me of a coach that the Detroit Lions had, that literally he lost everyone in the locker room, and that's Matt Patricia. And I'm watching that game. It's the same thing. The camera catches the bickering, the fights. Mike McDaniel just standing there with his, sweatpants hiked up, looking like, sponsored by Nike Capris, just standing there. And no one, there's no interaction. There's nothing happening.
Yeah,
So
and
to Ben's point, I think we're gonna probably see a 2-3 win season out of them, and I think that it's gonna be a lot of pink slips on this team.
yeah, and Gary, before I throw it to you, like when I think about Tyreek Hill, one, as the individual, I think what's best for his own mental sanity if he steps away from football. Now, I don't think he's going to do that, but just to your point, Tigney, like to have all of that going on with all the multiple, children, the divorce, the amount of money that he's going to have to pay. There's just so many things that I don't understand. Like, football is such a big mental game, and you have to have such a strong mental edge. But I think, like, when it comes to where he would potentially be traded, there was a stat they had said on ESPN when I was listening on one of the shows, where he said he has not had a reception over 30 yards since week 1 of last season. So there's question of his mental acuity,
Wow.
but his physical capabilities, I think there are some questions. But when you look at this Miami offense, they were very trickery, very, catching you off guard. Now, Gary, I kind of feel like this offense has been figured out, and they're not able to really do anything. And Ben, I know you definitely have some thoughts on that. But Gary, Ben, I won't get you on this.
No, I gave my thoughts. Let Gary hop in
Gary?
here.
I look at Tyreek Hill, and I know that he looks at Antonio Brown and goes, "There before the grace of God go I." This is just going down that path of the all-time great becoming a what-if story. And it's sad because the talent on the field is now being overshadowed by the nonsense off the field. And for me, if these allegations are false and this is, whatever the situation might be, fine, but it's still damaging his reputation no matter what.
Yeah.
The court of public opinion always rules guilty no matter who you are in these types of situations. Looking at the roster as a whole, you're right. This is a team that it may behoove them to bottom out, to trade, and to start over, because I just don't. This team, as constructed, is not a Super Bowl winning team. Hell, they're not even an AFC East winning team. Like, they're good. They're in the worst spot that you want to be in. They're too bad to be good and too good to be bad. So you have to make a decision, and the decision for them really should be clean house. Let Nick Kroll be fired. Let him go be a coordinator someplace else. you know, let let the GM go, trade Tyreek. I mean, you're a Tua concussion away from being completely irrelevant,
Yeah.
and that's the scary reality for them.
Yeah.
Like
And
they
then
were
mind
bad.
you, again, he's only 31. But it seems like he's played a lifetime of football because of
Yeah,
so much that's been put upon him on the field, off of the field, and all of it just intertwined. Like we're seeing him just I hate saying this, gentlemen, but we're just seeing it slowly crash out before our eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
The rise and the fall of Tyreek Hill.
I know it's a different topic for another day, but and I know it's complex, and I don't want to go necessarily here. I just want to say, Brian Flores looks pretty good right now.
Doesn't he?
Doing a damn good job with Minnesota, and he's the one who wanted Herbert over Tua.
Although
Just
I will
saying
say,
he was probably right.
No, he
I
was
will.
right.
Now I will say this
Like,
about last night regarding the Vikings and all that. It's been said many times before, and I'll say it again. The Bears are who we thought they were.
yep.
They are who we like. This is
Shout out Dennis Green. Rest in peace.
may he rest in peace. He was absolutely right because, as I said to you all last night, Bears are going Bear. That lead was not like even as I'm watching the game, I'm like, this lead isn't safe. I don't even
Yeah,
know
'cause
JJ McCarthy like that. Like he was in a good system in Michigan, yes, but like I didn't know. I don't know him enough to say like, oh, he's gonna win this game for them. But it's not even so much that he won the game as much as the Bears lost it. But again, that's just going off topic.
Yeah. So it's going to be, it's going to be interesting season with the Bears. I texted, "Oh, we noticed a little bit different." I was like, "Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon." I feel like an idiot, but hey, who knows?
Hey,
So
and no one can blame you. He started 10 for 10. They were balling. Like
yeah,
they
It's a
it's
look, they
good.
look,
flash of it's a
they
flash of
look,
what they could be,
Right.
they
Yeah.
look,
and
they
then
look
they
good.
revert back to what they've been.
Mhm.
And let's be honest, Brian Flores was a good coach. He's an excellent defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
So to go again, like for Caleb Williams to start to struggle, like it should not be this huge shock. You got a rookie head coach. You got one of the best defensive coordinators in the entire league. So,
Maybe he'll get a head coaching job again. Who knows? We'll see. We shall see.
yeah. But
All
I
right.
think, but yeah, let's move it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Football bus. Boy, there were a lot. Where do we begin on this one? There was a ton. Gee. Well,
There was a
I'm gonna
lot.
yeah, I'm gonna start this one off. Bo Nix, man. What the H, bro? Had me had 6 fantasy points for me. It's okay. And Bo Nix we trust. But Bo Nix, if just one thing. If you had the number 1 overall pick, are you like hitting your head on the wall if you drafted Jamar Chase over Bijan Robinson the way that Bijan balled out versus Jamar Chase? I'm just saying. But yeah, Bo Nix for me.
Hey, Jeff, what I told you, Bijan.
Yeah, you were
You
right.
know,
You
you
were
know.
right.
I mean, it's only 1 week. It's only 1 week.
Hey, it's 1 week, hey.
But for Marisa and Gary, I told Jeff that Bijan's going to be the top fantasy point scorer out of everyone this whole year. I know it's not that bold because he's been drafted number 2, but
It's
I was
possible,
basically saying if I had number 1, I was choosing Bijan.
Yeah, we'll see. Who wants to bite? What other bus we got? Open forum.
Oh, I hate doing this. And he was my guy for University of Michigan, but Jake Moody getting cut today.
Oh,
Sorry, Niners fans. I'm actually not sorry, Niners fans, because I know y'all are celebrating. You've been waiting for this for a while, but to miss a 27-yarder and then get your 36-yarder blocked when normally you are clutch from everywhere. Like the first year was promising. You're in is it his 3rd year now? It's just been 3 years, and gets cut.
Rookie season, he looked like one of the best 5 kickers.
Oh, he did. He looked flat out like a boss.
Last year, he looked
From
like
the
one
point,
of the worst 10 kickers, and
yeah,
week 1, he looked like maybe the worst.
When he got injured and he was out several games, he hasn't looked the same since, and obviously it showed.
Absolutely.
Like they said, that 46% between all 3 seasons of kicking. It took the 49ers a while. I think they gave him some grace just because of the fact that, yes, he did get injured. Yes, he was trying to get back into the swing of things. But there's no excuse for you in a tight game as it was. And mind you ended up winning, but losing George Kittle now for 5 weeks, for 5 games. is going to definitely hurt them, but probably not, because unfortunately George Kittle is injury prone, and I hate that for those who ever drafted him for fantasy. But to have those kind of numbers and have those kind of stats in the past couple of seasons, you have not been an ace in the hole for the Niners. He ended up being cut today, so, and I believe they signed somebody else, which I can't think of off the top of my head, but it was long overdue. It was time. They signed 49ers signed veteran kicker Eddie Pinheiro off to their active roster.
Ooh.
For a 1-year deal after waiving kicker Jake Moody. So
Wait, wasn't Pinheiro the one that did the double doink in Chicago?
Yes, he is.
This is
Eddie Double Doink Pinheiro. That's exactly what I thought of when I saw the alert come up. I'm like, oh.
Here we go.
So hopefully this will work out for them and they don't have instant regret of letting Moody go. So we'll see if Moody goes to another team or not. But he is my bust of the week if anybody had him on fantasy.
Okay. What else we got, guys?
I got AJ Brown.
Weapon?
What? AJ Brown.
Yep.
I don't have him, but he's drafted in the top 3 rounds and 1.8 points. He almost got shut out.
Jeff, your cousin had him on when I faced him this week.
Really?
Oh, that didn't work out.
One catch for 8 yards.
That's neither here nor there.
Okay, can we just say something about AJ Brown? And that's funny, Gary. And I told him, don't do that. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Someone's trying to trade me Devontae Smith in like 3 trades. I wonder who that is. Yes, his name starts with a B. Yeah, that's who. Devontae Smith. AJ, I'm like, guy, like, give me a little bit of respect. Respect my knowledge over here. Why don't you? But hey, look, this team is one of the most low volume passing offenses in the league.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, no one should be surprised with AJ Brown and the duds that he's going to put up. It has nothing.
I applaud you, Ben. I applaud you for that.
None.
Devonta just slipped, and honestly, part of it was since AJ Brown got to Philly, he's been pretty darn healthy. But before that, so I honestly, Smith slipped, number 1, number 2. Kind of think that AJ Brown might miss some time. So, but if he doesn't, that pick's gonna end up being a dud for sure.
Do y'all feel like with the Eagles and the 49ers, do you feel that there's just something in the air that something bad is gonna happen?
With the 49ers, yes.
There's definitely a cloud over them right now. I don't know why, but
I just feel like McCaffrey, I feel like it's just like, I don't know, something don't feel right. But then with the Eagles, like when they traded for Tank Bigsby, I'm like,
it just stinks because we know gentlemen, we've watched football for so long, and we know the quickest retirement or like quietly leaving out of the league is running backs. Their window is very small, to say the least. So with Christian McCaffrey, I mean, I hate this for him because we're not going to see the Christian McCaffrey that we saw in the Panthers in his prime. We're not going to. And for him being as young as he is, he's not going to have that intensity and that breakout speed that everybody is hoping for. This injury that he has that has been nagging him is definitely going to cause him to either rethink about his career, because he's like a husband now, he's a father now. So it's going to have him, sit back and think of his career. And if it isn't going to go, and if he's not going to be at the full capacity that all the fans that have been following his journey for this many years, then it's going to be the tough decision where he's going to have to walk away from football and think about his own health and being there for his family. I hate that I had to say that, but how many times, gentlemen, have we seen multiple reports come out of him not being able to play this week, not being able to play next week, questionable, and then gets up to he's been scratched from this game? It's unfortunate wash, rinse, repeat for his career that, probably is not going to be because of these injuries.
I mean, he's still a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I think he's a bona fide Hall of Famer. He's been absolutely incredible. You don't think so? You don't think so, Gary?
First ballot, I don't know.
He's going to sit for a minute. He's going to sit for a minute. He's evidently going to go into the Hall of Fame. He's going to sit for a minute.
if
Okay.
Eli Manning, who won 2 rings, isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, Christian McCaffrey, who is not won a ring, can't be. I'm sorry. Like
And
if
these
now
rules that
if
they
they
have now for these Hall of Famers and how many they allow in per class is ridiculous.
oh
What
yeah,
rule is that?
Was it Gary? Correct me if
5.
I'm wrong. Like only 5, right?
Yeah, it's
They got
5.
4 of them that are eligible and 1 of them that they write in that
Like
has
or
been
the
passed the
Veterans Committee or
ballot.
whatever committee for like veterans, they usually bring somebody in for that last one.
Yeah, so the ones
Okay.
that you saw go in, they were on the ballot to go ahead and get the votes, and then Sterling Sharp was a vote-in because
Uh-huh.
he already had passed the eligibility part.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was long past that.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Hey, awesome. Hey, let's keep this going because we're going an hour, right? An hour. Yeah, hour. 45 minutes hour. Okay.
Hold
Cool.
on,
Yeah,
I ain't even say mine.
Yeah, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm sorry, Gary. I didn't forget about you. I'm
Get it,
sorry. My
G.
fault.
Um, I was expecting a little bit more out of Cooper Cup being in Seattle.
Hmm. Okay.
Like, and mind you, I don't have a lot of complaints this week because both my and two actually I'm 3-0 this week, so I can't complain too much. I didn't have that bad of a week, but looking top to bottom, I thought the Cooper Cup would have more of an impact in Seattle. And granted, we're all talking week 1, but I think he gave me what 2.6 points. I got 3 points. Yeah, 2.6. So that's not going to cut it, and that just kind of speaks more towards Seattle. Like Sam Darnold, are you the byproduct of Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota and his magic? And based off of what we saw last night from JJ McCarthy, that very well could be the case. Or are you the Sam Darnold that was tearing it up? And I know my camera's not on, but I'm looking very sarcastic when I say tearing it up in New York.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Cooper Cup. That one's interesting. I want to throw one more. Ashton Denty, and not because of skill set, but that offensive line. I don't know. That makes him a little bit nervous because I drafted him in 1. He fell to me in the 2nd round so we'll
I mean,
see.
he gave me 14 points. I can't, again,
Yeah,
wasn't
it's because
terrible.
mostly because of the touchdown. But hey, touchdowns
Yeah.
count. Touchdowns
Yeah,
count.
Yes, they
yeah.
do.
But in the underlying numbers, right? When I look at like points for a player, right? I look at average because we're nerds. Average yards per carry, the number of attempts, average yards per carry, yards after contact. I mean, I think those things are more underlying numbers because you don't want a guy that's your RB1 to be too touchdown dependent. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. But we just still want the Raiders to stink. But let's keep this thing going here. So fantasy football duds for the upcoming week.
Skip
So
superstars. We can go quick on that
we
one.
did superstars. Oh, I'm sorry, superstars. Let's do round
Derrick,
robin.
Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson. There you go. You want to move on?
Okay. Okay, Tigney.
Well,
And C.
he seems so excited to move on to the next one. So I said, you know what? Let me just throw two names out there.
Give me Josh Allen, but I'm gonna throw one out here. He's gonna throw a little curveball. If you don't have him as your backup TE after this week's performance, you might want to consider it. If you do not have him in your fantasy, that's Jawan Johnson, tight end of the Saints. Scored 15.6 fantasy points. Whoever had them and started them, I'm just throwing them out there. Rattler, I know Saints fans was groaning when they found out that he was going to be the starter, but when he utilized Jawan Johnson for a couple of big throws during that game, the game that they almost came back and won, 15.6 points, tight end. I know he's TE number 2, but just throwing that out there for all you fantasy football heads.
Anyone with Kittle, including me, that's who we're trying to get, or one player we're trying to get.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put a waiver claim in now. I'm kidding. All right.
Fine.
I ain't gonna do that to you, man. I ain't gonna do that.
You're good.
I like to keep one tight end. I can't do 2. But anyway, Gary, go ahead, buddy. Who you got?
So I'm gonna say, Jeff, this is for you. If you can pick up the Broncos defense, I say pick up the Broncos defense. They said they dog walked Tennessee pretty well this past Sunday, and I think this is just a sign of things to come. They gave me 22 points, so that's definitely something to look at. I'm gonna give you another name, and even though he is a Cowboy, I have to give him respect. Javonte Williams. I thought that he was just gonna head to Dallas and kind of just fall off the edge of the earth, but instead He had himself a solid performance against the Eagles. He gave me let's see. He projected for 20 for 16 points. He gave me 23 last week, and now it's on my bench. So that's definitely somebody to consider if you can pick him up in any waiver wires.
Okay.
Yeah, that offensive line for Dallas. I mean, it's only 1 week, but they look
They look,
pretty good.
they
Yeah.
They look,
do. I
they
have
look
to give
really
them credit.
good.
Yes.
I'm gonna say two guys. One, I'm gonna say Keon Coleman.
Yep.
He
That
killed it.
catch from Allen, ooh,
Yes,
Mhm.
he killed
Yep.
it. I'm not ready to say
through
that the
two
man.
defenders
Oh
too.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. He could
Come on,
be.
Keon
He's
Coleman.
such an intriguing. He's someone that I'm not going to trade right now. Someone else is trying to trade for him too,
You
but I'm
know
not going to say
the
any
and
name.
you know the Keon Coleman when he says he just does nothing and he studies the playbook. He studies the playbook, and those results showed. I mean, that catch.
Yeah.
He could be in line for like a 70+ catch year.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
oh
Well, I
yeah.
mean, he's got all the skill set. I mean, they're like. I'm
He
sorry, Khalil
backs up the
Shakir,
talk.
Josh Palmer. No, Khalil Shakir, nice, cute little piece.
Mhm.
Dalton Kincaid. I mean, I don't know, but I also want to give a shout out to Quentin
yep.
Johnston, because
Mhm.
it's a fluke. I think it's a fluke, but he had 5 receptions on 7 targets, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I do not think it's going to be. You can expect that week in and week out, especially with
Oh,
Keenan Allen there.
if we're talking overreactions, he's the
Yeah.
overreaction ad,
Oh
and
yeah.
then subsequent after he gets
Oh
less
yeah.
than 5 points, drop.
Oh yeah. He's
He's
going to get
gonna
dropped.
be. Everybody's adding him this week. They ain't gonna be on. He ain't gonna be on your team for long.
Nope. It's that emotional. Like that's why I barely do any waiver ads, except for a certain tight end, maybe in a certain league. But outside of that, like I don't do too many. Like Quentin Johnston, we'll see. Let's keep this thing rolling here. So studs for upcoming week. The players that we expect to outform versus expectations. Duds players we expect to underform versus expectations. Gary, I'm gonna throw this one to you. Then I'm gonna throw this one to you, sir. Is there a stud? Is there a stud and a dud that you want that you're expecting, sir?
So
What's on
I
your
just
mind?
so like I said, I just mentioned his name, Javonte Williams of Dallas. Um, I fully expect him, and this pains me to say this. I fully expect him to have a field day against the Giants defense. Um, so I think that's somebody to look out for. Um, if you need a kicker and you haven't picked him up, Tyler Loop from Baltimore.
Hmm.
I think he's going to be special.
Give me the loop.
I think he's going to be what Justin Tucker was in his prime. And then as far as duds, until I see otherwise, you got to say Cooper Cup, and you've got to say, what's his name, Josh Downs from Indy. I think he might be the one of their wide receiver. He might be the one phased out at the end, and I think his 3 points that he got week one is more of a harbinger for things to come than it being an anomaly.
Okay, fair. Uh, Tiffany, Ben.
Listen, if you got Miami's defense in as your starter, just tell them to take a seat, take them out, take them out. They're not going to be. They're not going to be present. We already talked about it on the show, and I know that they're going against a very revamped, recharged Mike Vrabel Patriots team, and it's at Miami. It's in their backyard. But I'm not convinced of what we saw and what we witnessed, a disaster before our very eyes. I think it's going to be a little bit more of the same. So if you got Miami's defense, if you're all in on them, good luck. If you're not, do what you need to do. The studs that I mean, there's several of them, but definitely will go again with Josh Allen. It's going to be a fun watch with the Bills versus the Jets. And let me give credit to Justin Fields for the effort that he made with at the helm of the Jets. They're going to be an interesting watch this season to see what they do. But I think that what we have witnessed is that Justin Fields finally gets permission to be Justin Fields. And I think we saw that when they went against the Steelers team. That yes, it was riddled with mistakes on their end, and that caused them to lose the game down the wire. But this is a Justin Fields that finally feels like that he can actually showcase his talent, his scrambling in the pocket, his throwing abilities, the ability to run, because he can run. I mean, he's still in his 20s. People think that he was washed up because the failures that happened in Chicago and then going to the Steelers and now having that permission to just basically unleash. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Bills at the Jets. So, but my stud will be Josh Allen. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Okay, no, that's fair. No, that Josh Allen's he's gonna be fun. Ben,
I got Amon-Ra St. Brown as a stud. He gonna ball out this week. He's due for a little comeback. And Gary, I went the other way on the Colts. I think I got Pittman as a dud, and I don't expect a big game from Downs, but I think that Pittman is going to get the Surtain shadow. So if anybody, if you're forced to start a Colts receiver at flex, I think Downs might be a tiny bit better, although you probably have better options. I don't think either one of them, because Denver's defense is unreal. But I had him on my duds list and Amon-Ra on the studs.
Okay. All right. I like those. I'm kind of looking at some teams here. I think RJ Harvey, I think RJ Harvey, he only had like 7 points. I think they're going to look to commit a little bit more of the run for him. I think he's going to outperform his expectations. He's projected to go like 7 points. I was seeing, I think that big run that he had just kind of showed why. I think J.K. Dobbins is a cute, adorable little story, but he's going to break a kneecap at some point. So, I mean, I'm just saying I'm not hoping for it. It's just going to happen. He's going to break a kneecap. The wind's going to blow left and he's going to go right. And he's going to just, I don't know. But I think RJ Harvey, this is going to be the RJ Harvey show. I think another player that I think is going to be a dud, and I look at a lot of these different players. I'm just looking at fantasy because I'm just like wondering who's going to be it. But I'm kind of looking at JSN, and because I just don't, and it's not because of I love JSN.
Just say it. It's because of Darnold.
Well, I was getting there. You gotta let me build it up. But yes, because of Sam Darnold. He is a Buckeye. Go Buckeyes. Yes, because of Sam Darnold. I do not think that Sam Darnold. I think they are going to regret paying Sam Darnold that money, and I think Milroe is going to come in and start by week 6. That is my bold take. It's going to happen because I think Kevin McConnell set up a really good system for him, and when you're throwing the Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, those running backs, anyone can thrive in that system. Even my left pinky could thrive in that system. So I think JSN is going to, and especially against Pittsburgh, they're gonna fix some things, and I think that's gonna happen. So anyway,
Darnold was under great leadership and great coaching, and I wish that and for someone who is a fan, has a team, as a fan of the NFC North, he had it good with Minnesota, in my opinion. He really did. I know he wanted to get paid, but he wasn't at that level that coach wanted him to be at. And I 100% agree with you, Jeff. Like we're gonna see Darnold struggle.
But I think last regular season game against Detroit, and then again the playoff game against the Rams, it just proved that Darnold he's okay. But he's not going to lead you to the promised land.
But what I think with that is, before we get to WTF, I think that Sam Darnold, like the situation was, they used a top 10 pick on JJ McCarthy, and for me, I think the decision was easy, letting go of Sam Darnold at the end of the day, because I think you have enough of a track record to know that a lot of quarterbacks can thrive, and JJ McCarthy's a winner. They were saying radio that he's 62-3 in his last X number of starts since high school.
64.
Yeah, he's a winner.
Since sophomore year of high school.
Yes, indeed. But all right, Ben, I know you're excited about WTF. Go ahead.
We were talking about the game, but Baltimore, you got 2 Hall of Famers on your offense. 4th and 3. You cannot punt that ball. You cannot give it back to Josh Allen the way that they were gashing you in the 4th quarter. You got to go for that. And even if you didn't get it, okay, fine. The Bills have great field position, but you have 3 timeouts. You would be fine. You would probably get the ball back, even if the Bills had scored a touchdown and then you went and needed a touchdown. You got to go for it. 4th and 3. I know it's, an aggressive, but Josh Allen is, think about it. If the exact was flipped. You think Buffalo's punting it to Lamar? There's no chance. They're definitely going for it. Like, you got to give like these great quarterbacks. If you give them the ball back with less than 2 minutes, even less than a minute and a half, with a chance to win. I mean, we're talking about Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar, Allen. Like, you got to expect they're gonna go and get the points and win the game. Especially the way Baltimore's defense was looking like crap in the fourth quarter, and the Bills were doing whatever they wanted in the fourth quarter on offense. You had to go for that. I'm sorry. You got to go for it. You get that. It's a different game. Obviously, Derrick Henry fumble was huge, but to me, 4th and 3, trust Lamar or Henry or both. Like, you got to go for that. I thought that was the biggest, like, WTF of week 1 as far as a coaching decision for me.
Okay. Tigney, think Gary?
WTF, the Jacksonville Jaguars showing signs of life and resurgence. Yes, we all have made fun of the coach when he came to his press conference with the whole Duval. Honey, they put the Duval in that team because the resurgence of the healthy Trevor Lawrence and him utilizing. Now, mind you, again, it's the Carolina Panthers, and I probably will discuss it on a different show. And I think the Bryce Young experiment in Carolina needs to just be ended because there's nothing else left for them. They just need to move on and grab another quarterback, in my humblest opinion. But he utilized everyone to add Jordan Lewis to the mix, to utilize Brian Thomas Jr., who I think went in and scored. And then obviously you got Travis, coming in and utilizing Travis Hunter coming in, and they are utilizing him as a two-way player. This Jacksonville team is not the Jacksonville team of the past. The Jacksonville team that we saw last year just absolutely collapsed. I mean, whatever is working with this team is quite impressive. They're going to be an interesting watch during this season, but just really impressed on how they played at home versus the Carolina Panthers, and how Trevor Lawrence looked like the Trevor Lawrence of old, but better. And then utilizing the additions and the new players and all of that. So that was my WTF moment. Like, who is this team? I'm impressed.
Yeah. Hey, week 1 always brings a lot of shockers. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to regret trading away Tank Bixby, because I think
I agree that too. That was a quiet trade.
Yeah, I think you only trade Tank Bixby if you plan on using that other running back that they have, because you cannot rely. If you think that he's lost a step, he's not going to. I don't know. That one was very surprising that they traded him after one game. I
compare that to quietly passing a note in class when the teacher is not looking. Trade.
Yeah.
Like that was like, oh yeah, by the way, Tank Bixby has been traded to the Eagles for the 5th and 6th round pick.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what?
I mean, good for him to go to the Eagles. He could potentially win a Super Bowl. But Gary, what about you?
I feel like coming on, I kind of jumped the gun and gave my WTFs. I said the Colts with Daniel Jones looking like Peyton Manning all of a sudden, or what Andrew Luck was supposed to be for them. And with my Giants, I mean, I warned everybody beforehand. The 3-0 preseason was probably going to be the high mark of the year for us. And right now, after 60 minutes of football, I looked really, really good with my prediction there. I think you want to say that there's hope on the horizon. And yes, we look at Jackson Dart and say, okay, maybe, we didn't go too high up for him in the draft. So it's not like he's going to be having the same level of pressure as Daniel Jones did, being that high up of a pick. But you got to look at the rest of that roster and you go, who else is going to help them win games? Because Malik Neighbors, he's Odell Beckham without the charisma. You don't really have much in terms of running backs. Like, Tracy's okay. You don't. You're a Devin Singletary away from being back to exactly what you've been for like the last 10, 12 years, which has been fair to middling. Like, I want to have hope, but I'm also not stupid. I'm clearly aware of what this roster is, and I look at the schedule. Just yes, last week was bad, but then you keep going at Dallas, home to the Chiefs, home to the Chargers, at New Orleans, home to the Eagles, at Denver, at Philly, home against San Francisco. I can see maybe the Saints, maybe the 49ers, depending on how they are by that point in the season. But as I said, 2-11, 3-10, that actually sounds about right. I might actually be giving them one or two more games than they deserve at this point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, those are real. I think my WTF moment is the Falcons. WTF, you lose again to the Buccaneers.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, Jeff, real quick. Baltimore. You got to beat Buffalo. Like how are you Buffalo's bitch this many times in a row? How is it that you can't? If you're gonna go to the AFC Championship, the championship game's got to be in Baltimore. You I don't know what their bugaboo is about playing in Buffalo, but their last two games
Facts.
have not gone very well there, and I don't understand why. But yeah, Baltimore being up like that and then losing 41-40, yeah, that's a real WTF.
And 10 gold stars for you using bugaboo in a sentence. Nice.
Thank you,
Bugaboo.
man. I
There we
appreciate
go.
that.
All right, well, hey, you took my thunder, but yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it's the Falcons. I mean, you find a way to lose it again. They're just gonna continue to be like if you're a fan, it's like you think they have a chance. It's like that girl you think you have a chance with, but you really don't in the end. But anywho, we want to close it out. Big upsets, just like real quick round robin. Any big upsets? Ben, one round. Just do a quick round robin, and we'll close out.
I got Bucks over the Texans.
Ooh.
The game is in Houston as well. But I think, I mean, arguably Baker Mayfield and the Bucks, and without even looking at the stats, I feel like they play better on the road.
How do we not?
They lose a lot of games at home that they shouldn't lose. And frankly, that offensive line for Houston, they may got some new dudes, but it didn't look much better. And I trust Baker Mayfield in the Monday night game, like on the road, like in the opportunity to go 2-0. Like I got Tampa Bay in that game.
How do we not talk about Abuka? How do we not talk about him?
Yeah.
How do we not talk about him?
Yeah.
The whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do we not talk about him? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
You know, another Buckeye, another one. Like, you know, it's wide receiver you, man. You know, it's just it's great.
Houston gonna be in panic mode if I'm right.
Okay, DJ Jeff Khalid, another one.
But honestly, I really feel Houston, good one. Houston, they're going down. They have been figured out, man, and it's going to be a really bad season. And I think the Colts might win that division. Or it's not Jacksonville. I don't trust them. I just don't trust Houston. I mean, there's just something like CJ Stroud is not a mobile quarterback. Okay, he's a pocket passer. Okay,
Very
he has
much
no
so.
offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So and you have no run game. So they're just going to double Nico Collins, and it's just going to be like that run that they had. It's kind of starting to fizzle away. But I digress. Who else is on big upsets? Gary Tigney.
Listen, we may see Mac Jones in for an injured Brock Purdy who has a toe injury, is a left shoulder injury. If that's the case, I think the Saints can pull it off at home against the 49ers.
Okay. All right. Hey.
In a close one.
Okay. I'll go with that. All right. Gary?
This isn't much of an upset because of, we just saw this game, but I think the Eagles go into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. I think there will be panic at 0-2 in Kansas City. And I say panic knowing that there's a really good chance that they'll still finish season 14-3. So, we want to have a little intrigue, a little suspense to start the year. I think an 0-2 Chiefs team would bring some good suspense. It'll be get some good pressure that they'll need.
Okay. I'm going to go with one. And I think I'm going to go Commanders over the Packers on Thursday Night Football.
Please, Jesus.
I think they're going to get McLaurin a little bit more involved.
I mean, as great as the Packers looked, right, and then on the flip side, yeah, the Commanders won, but like 21-6, like over the Giants. Like they didn't look that good against the
I mean,
Giants.
it's one
Like,
game.
and look, that's what I'm saying. Like the
They didn't
Packers
need
played
to-
their A++ game. Washington
they
played
didn't-
their like C game. So my thing is, Washington raises their level. Green Bay level goes down a little bit. That's how you see a Washington win. So I like that
Jeff,
pick.
Jeff, the Commanders treated the game against the Giants like their 4th preseason game.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
That's
Yeah.
true.
There was nothing. Jalen Daniels did not have a spectacular performance by any stretch, but he didn't need to have a spectacular performance. He just needed to be good, and he was, and that was it. And it was just like you're gonna see them at their best this Thursday. I think this was just more one final tune-up before the real season starts for them.
I think we all know that that we don't know what teams truly are until week 6 or week 7, week
That's
8,
true.
right?
Mhm.
So when you have had such a long layoff, to build a rhythm, you got to play real game action. Preseason is meh, but the real action is in the regular season. So Jaden Daniels is going to get a stride. Debo Samuel is going to get a little bit more involved. Terry McLaurin only had 2 receptions. That's going to change. I'm telling you, it's all going to come together, and I think that defense that Washington has is going to be sneaky average. Anywho, guys, it has been fun. It has been a fun podcast.
We're back, people.
We're back.
Follow us on the socials.
Back like we
Indeed.
never left.
Like and share on YouTube.
Exactly.
DTS is back, people.
Oh yes, it has been fun. It has been great, everyone. I know that this week has been rough for you guys. With your losses. But Denver.
Hey, by the way, your Denver might want to be a little bit on upset alert too.
You know what? Honestly, though, I could say, but
I mean,
we're going
they're
17-1,
only.
but no.
I mean, to me, they're favored by 1.5, which seems a little.
We could very much lose that game. I wouldn't be surprised.
But I mean, that I honestly had that written down too. And then my crazy upset that's not going to happen, but would be that isn't completely impossible, is the Jets over the Bills.
I think the Colts could potentially be, because you got Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren. I mean, they got some weapons. So we'll see what happens. But anywho, guys, until next time, peace and love. And always remember, Hail Von Miller.
Oh, my God.